Sooner Nation, Longhorn fans, welcome to episode 205 of the Bevo Podcast, the only podcast exclusively dedicated to covering the greatest rivalry in college football, the University of Oklahoma, and the University of Texas. I'm here with my man, Kevin Miller. I am John Whitson. Kevin, I'm worried about Oklahoma. Not just because they lost, and we're going to talk about the loss, but it's the manner in which they lost. It was a culmination of so many things that they did, that Mississippi did, that we did not respond to well, that we made mistakes with, but there's not one glaring thing. The list is long and not very good.
Yeah, John, these are the most frustrating types of losses for fans, right? Where you lose a game, but you had chances to win the game. You're playing against a good team, or at least you're evenly matched with them. I would say it's a good matchup, Oklahoma and Ole Miss. You had chances to win, but you did some things that costed. Go ahead.
Real quick, before we get into it, we are going to talk about the crazy-ass Texas game as well. So don't leave. Texas fan, don't leave. I acknowledge how absolutely insane that football game was, and we are going to talk about it. But I have to dwell in defeat for a minute, Kevin. I have to soak in losing, and it sucks, and I'm mad about it. I'm going to start. Here's what I'm going to start with. Okay, there is so much crap that happened in this game, good and bad, really.
Let's talk about all of it.
But I'm going to talk about the most egregious decision-making that was made at the most critical time of the game. Okay? So everything has happened. Everything has happened. Safeties have happened. Penalties have happened. Fumbles have happened. Third down conversions being allowed has happened. Everything has happened. And yet, with 4 minutes and 9 seconds, all 3 timeouts, and the 2-minute warning, we have an opportunity to move the ball down the field against Ole Miss and potentially score and force the game into overtime. And I don't know that it was a long shot. Ole Miss you'd seen cracks, right, defensively over the previous quarter and a half.
Yeah.
So you're thinking to yourself, okay, we've got a shot. Look. Xavier Robinson was running his ass off yesterday. That dude was running strong. He was running hard. 9 carries for 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay? You've got 409 with 4 timeouts. And dude touches it 1 time for 7 yards. 1 time, Kevin, and an 8 or 9 play drive, whatever it ended up being, that resulted in no points. 1 time. Kevin, you got 4 minutes. It's called a 4-minute drill for a reason. You can run out a 4-minute drill.
Correct.
They were not stopping Xavier Robinson. If you look at the previous 2 drives, he was getting 7 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards. It wasn't. Yes, he had the 1 big yard, but if you subtract the 1 big yard and look at what he had, he still had a great yards per carry.
Correct. It's inexplicable, John.
It is criminal.
It's coaching malpractice.
Look, my initial thought is Arbuckle, right? That's where I initially go, is the offensive coordinator. It's my God, bro. I know that Mateer's your boy, and we're going to talk about Mateer. I know Mateer's your boy. And I know what you're trying to do, but you've got it in the backfield right now. And he showed it. And he's demonstrated it. And if they would have run the ball and we came up short, maybe I would find something else to be mad about. But this is what I'm mad about today.
No, you're spot on. You're spot on.
But here's the deal. It's not Arbuckle's fault. We're supposed to have a head coach that is making $6 million a year that, yes, he's calling the defense, which was okay, not great. I think we can agree on Saturday. So whatever. He's supposed to be calling the defense. You get on the microphone or you walk down the sideline and you say, "We've got 4 minutes to go. I want to see a
Let's run
ground
the ball
attack."
here. Yeah, let's run it here.
They haven't stopped it. They haven't stopped us in the last quarter and a half. We run this ball out. He scores a touchdown with 5 seconds to go. We pick up a 2-point conversion. We go to overtime and we do our chances. And he didn't do it. He did not do it.
He didn't do it. No.
Carries. Xavier Robinson gets 9 carries. It's criminal. 1 carry in the last 4 minutes on that drive. It's unfathomable. I don't understand it. I don't understand the logic. It doesn't make sense. Latier was not throwing the ball well in the second half.
He was not. He was not. He wasn't throwing it all. And the quarterback power that he kept calling, it wasn't working.
God.
It's not working. I understand it, right? But it's not working. And here's what I really don't understand for Oklahoma here. At halftime, you made a big adjustment on the offensive line, right? First of all, you start Ryan Foji at right tackle with Derek Simmons being out. And then at halftime, you put in the Pierre-Louis kid at guard. And guess what? You start running the football and you're running it well. At that point, I'm like, oh, you got it. You got it.
Oh, yeah.
They can't stop it.
When we went up 26-25, I was in the car. I heard the whole thing on the radio. I thought to myself, well, God, we're at home. We're at home.
Yes, and you're running.
We've got momentum. We're running the ball. I mean, we're just going to run this damn ball out. Like, even if they score again, we'll just run it again. Like, and it just went away.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. In the first half, you weren't even really trying to run it. So, right, it was a lack of volume running the football. Blaylock didn't look good. But again, I give you credit for making an adjustment, putting in a different guy at guard, and then you come out in the third quarter and you're running it right at him. You're running that, 3-by-1 formation. They had a light box in there to prevent the big play in the passing game. You're running it. And the way you're running it, they weren't fitting it at all. They hadn't figured out how to fit it yet. So every time you ran it, it was very successful. So when you got the ball, it just seemed like a no-brainer that you would run the football. Here's the play here. The kickoff happens. John Mateer pass complete to Deion Burks for 9 yards. John Mateer pass complete to Jaron Canick, 16 yards. John Mateer run for no gain. John Mateer incomplete pass. Then you get the pass interference penalty on them. At this point, the clock's running now.
Yeah.
So now you're at the 2-minute timeout. John Mateer run for 2 loss.
But
2-yard loss.
We still had 3 timeouts, though, at 2 minutes.
Correct.
This is the key. What you're talking about right now at 2 minutes, we still have the 3. We're in the plus side of the field, and we still have all 3 timeouts following the 2-minute warning.
Correct. So John Mateer run for a loss of 2 yards. So then it's 2nd and 12. Then you hand it off. Xavier Robinson, you get 7 yards on 2nd and 12. 3rd and 5. John Mateer incomplete pass. 4th down, John Mateer incomplete pass. Yeah, it's shocking. You had every opportunity to run it down there and get into the red zone, get a touchdown. It had just been working. There was so much time left.
Yeah,
and you're running it like it was a 2-minute. It's baffling.
Okay, let's back away from the last 4 minutes. John Mateer. I think the kid is tough. I think the kid does have arm talent. I think about that throw to Satania in the first quarter where he just dropped it right in the breadbasket. I mean, just a absolutely beautiful throw. I don't think he can read the field very well and make the appropriate reads timely.
Yeah.
If the number 1 read isn't there, it starts to get concerning for me when he's making his decisions. Is that fair of me, or
no, it is fair. And I've actually seen this all year, right? He has some really good sideline accuracy on deep shots, right? If it's down the sidelines, but when he has to throw to the middle of the field, that's when his accuracy, for whatever reason, is off. And it's been like that all year. He just made some big plays down the sidelines and some big plays in the running game to start the season. But I think now that teams have adjusted, and maybe his thumb has something to do with this. I don't want to just completely discount that because that is a major injury that he had during the season. But I think teams have kind of forced him to make reads in the middle of the field, and it's been tough. The accuracy just hasn't been there. The consistency throwing the football just hasn't been there. And then also teams, if you can stop that quarterback power, which Ole Miss was having none of it.
Yeah.
It just was not working.
Outside of the Michigan game, we haven't had any real success with the quarterback power. And what I'm saying is take those quarterback power runs and translate them over to Xavier Robinson run game runs.
Just run, just make them that a counter to Xavier Robinson.
And then we take, I don't know, pressure off John Mateer to not get hit the 9 or 12 times he had. How many running attempts did he have? Hold on, I have it here. He had, give me just a second. Yeah, he had 13 carries. Now, some of those are probably sacks, but whatever.
Yes.
He had 13 carries for 17 yards. He does if 10 of those were quarterback runs, at this point in the season, what we're seeing is that that's not effective. We need to see like 5 of those, and the other 6 be straight traditional run game, because it's either Blaylock or Xavier Robinson. This game, it happened to be Xavier Robinson.
Exactly. And I think
we're fine. We're fine at running back.
Yeah,
Run the
that's
ball.
what has to be the most frustrating part. And the first few games of the year, he had to do that. He had to be a hero. He had to put on a cape in order for you to beat Michigan, in order for you to beat Auburn. But starting last week, you have found a running game, right? You saw something in the Texas game that said, okay, well, if we do this, we could run the football. We spread it out. We have 4 receivers on the field. We create a light box. We can actually create some holes here and make some things happen in the run game. I told you, I thought it unlocked your whole season last week against South Carolina.
I thought at 26-25, I thought it unlocked the whole game. I really did.
It was there. It's there. They couldn't stop it. South Carolina couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it.
I'm listening. So you're watching it on TV, right? I'm listening to Ted, the radio, which I actually like. Some people are like, why don't you just pull it out on YouTube on your phone? I don't want it on YouTube. I actually enjoy the radio, especially driving and stuff. Like, I really do like listening to those guys. Are they homers? Of course they are, but I really like it.
The Oklahoma broadcast team.
Ted and Gabe were losing their damn minds when Arbuckle wouldn't run the ball. I felt like those two guys were going to come through the radio at us. Just they were so upset. It's not just me with my run the damn ball hat on, yelling at the screen like just a hit. It's a collective OU gasp going, for the love of God. And you look at like time of possession and stuff like that. Well, yeah, when you're not running the ball and you're not committed to running the ball, that's what's going to happen. All right. That's my thoughts on Mateer. Arbuckle, I don't think he called, outside of not running the ball, I'm not sure that he called a bad game. It was sketchy. Defensively, I'm very disappointed with OU's third down performance. I mean, it hurt us all day long. Shambless hurt us all day long. I'll tell you, one of the reasons why the game was as close as it was, Kevin, is because inexplicably Lane Kiffin kept pulling out Shambless on the goal line for
Cross and Simmons. Oh my God! Listen, let's talk about Lane Kiffin. He did everything in his power to lose the football game. I don't know, and to have him throw it on 4th down, I don't understand it at all. And then what the heck was he thinking going forward on 4th down at his own 25-yard line? What are you doing? There is no justice. I don't care if they would have got the 1st down. You know, someone's going to get, what a call. No, there's no what a call. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Your defense is playing really good for the first time all season, really. Punt the football, dude.
Yeah.
Punt the football.
Shambless is who we thought he was.
He's actually better than I thought he was. I was pretty impressed with how he played against your defense.
He looked really, really good. I do think, I'm not making excuses. Field was the same for both people. I think the busts in the secondary, and not so much busts, but I think that the weather conditions created a little uncertainty.
Well, I'll say this. The field was horrible.
Yeah.
The field was horrible. And I know both teams have to play on it, but when the field is bad, it advantage offense. Offense knows where they're going. The defense has no idea where the offense is going, so they're having to react, and that could lead to slips. The field was in rough shape.
The entire secondary looked like they were on skates most of the game. Like you didn't see that that extra level of physicality and aggressiveness. It was more like, I don't want to get beat, so I'm going to play everything in front. And
sometimes that's the game plan, right? Right, we're going to let them have it underneath and then just come up and tackle. It's just tough though, because Ole Miss is such a good RPO team, and when they're running the football, even semi-effectively, they put that fake out there. You take one false step, and then it's bang. It's 10 yards here, 10 yards there, so they can get down the field. And we talked about this, right? You guys have an excellent defense, but every defense has a weakness, and the secondary, I felt all year, would be yours if you could not get the kind of pressure that you usually get. If a quarterback has time, I think there would be plays to be made. Just no one's really been able to do it. So I don't think the defense was bad, but every team, I don't care how good your defense is, you're going to have that one game where you don't dominate. We'll get to Texas in that same aspect, and you need your offense to step up and help you out, and you didn't get that consistently too.
So here's another just weird nugget. If there wasn't enough weird stuff that happened, the best player on the field for Oklahoma also had the biggest mistake in the game. The best player on the field. One of the reasons we're even in the game, Isaiah Satania played his ass off. He was a dynamic wide receiver. He was as good a wide receiver as there was on the field yesterday. 6 catches, 137 yards, 21.8 yards per catch, a touchdown. He was everywhere. The fourth quarter fumble on the punt return was an absolute kick in the footballs. It
was a backbreaker for sure.
And what is he doing jumping in the middle of the field for? Again, it's hard to be mad at the kid because of how well he played. But it's like, come on, man. It was unnecessary. And they only got a field goal out of it. But, being down 5 versus being down 8, 5 with 7 minutes to go, and you go get a score, and now it's just different. Things would have been different, I think.
Yeah. It's tough, though, right? Because he's made some huge plays in the punt return game this year. And with the team down, he's trying to make a play, and ball just got extended away from his arm. It was a good play by them to knock it out. But yeah, it's just such an untimely mistake.
He was trying to make a play. I agree with that. And that's why
you're not too mad at him, but it's like, why now?
Yes.
It's like quarter. If it's the first quarter, I get it. But
if it's the first quarter, I probably forgot about it, right? But where and when it happened, I would just be like, just have a little more game awareness. That's all right. And then lastly, before we move on to whatever the hell happened in Starkville last night, the penalties in the first half were just atrocious for Oklahoma. They just did not look prepared. We're the home team. We should not be making some of these penalties. And then what they were able to do to put themselves in a position to even get that safety, it was like 3 penalties in a row that put us on the 2.5-yard line. And then on top of that, our center's getting blown off his block, and we're deciding to run it out of shotgun, which just blows my mind.
And then you're running it like that. I mean, a super wide zone play.
It's so stupid, Kevin. That.
It's like basically a stretch play.
So then you have the safety that's 2 points, okay? And then they went for it on that 2-point conversion. And I thought to myself, I was pretty excited because we just took the lead. I just thought this is too early to start chasing, going for a 2-point
the extra point. I thought the same thing. Kick the extra point there.
Because then that would have turned the game into a 7-point game at the end, if everything else stayed the same. And I think mentally that just feels better, like having to go get 7 versus having to go get 8. I feel like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
And so I don't know. I just look in totality, with all the mistakes Lane Kiffin made, he somehow was still in it. He was still somehow able to outcoach Brent Venables.
Yeah.
Let that sink in, because you said it. Lane gave Oklahoma a ton of opportunities with weird play calls and switching out quarterbacks and doing all this stuff. Brent Venables matched him step for step in just game management, game preparation, decisions, non-decisions, activity, action. Just he got beat. And the problem is, in the SEC, which we all know, the margins are so thin that you make 3 or 4 mistakes more than the other guy, and they can be really minor, like a safety, or really minor, like just not having your team lined up. I mean, not having – dude, we didn't have enough people. We didn't have enough people on the line of scrimmage coming out of a timeout. That was the penalty we got that took us the 2.5.
And those are just the infuriating type of penalties.
Is that an
Arbuckle? And their game losing plays.
Is that an Arbuckle issue? Okay, maybe. Hell, I don't know. But it's our head coach not having our team ready to play.
Yeah.
And look, dude, we got to go to Tennessee. We have a night game in Neyland. And I'll tell you what, talk about coaches that will have their team ready to play.
Oh, my goodness.
Josh Heupel wants to beat Oklahoma's ass every time he gets a chance. Okay? He is a damn good football coach. He's going to have that team ready to roll. And I got to tell you, I'm frustrated because I feel like we have the talent to compete, but we're losing in the intangibles, and the intangibles to me come down to coaching.
100%. 100%. Yeah, those are 2 evenly matched football teams. You guys were not outclassed by Ole Miss in any aspect of the game from a talent standpoint. I didn't look at them and say, wow, they're bigger than you, they're faster than you. I never thought
the only overwhelming matchup early, and to your point, we made adjustments in the second half, was their 2 interior linemen against our center. Oh my God, he got Michael up.
They were pushing him back. Yeah, and then you make the switch. But no, from a talent standpoint, I'm like, you guys can't hang with them. You don't belong on the field with them. I never.
We had dudes. We had dudes. They had dudes. We were making plays. They were making plays. It was kind of some haymakers there in the third quarter.
For sure.
But it's just.
And I have to give them credit because
yes.
Once they went down, sometimes it's hard to come back from that. Once that you have that momentum shift like that on the road, it can be really difficult to keep playing and come back. You can get frazzled when that happens. Real quick, John. Real quick. Let's pause here. I've got breaking news here.
Breaking news.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Is he
Ryan
gone?
Kelly is out at LSU.
Wow. That's about right. That's about right.
Yeah, we'll get to this game in detail. We're going to break it down, but they look like they quit last night.
The minute A&M took the lead the second half, that game was over.
Yeah, they wanted the players are out, and if your team quits on you, the team is telling you the coach is out. The team has fired the coach essentially.
I think it was a pretty wide-held opinion that it was a very odd fit for Brian Kelly to go to LSU.
Yes.
I know I said it. I don't know if you said it or not, but I'm sure you had the thought. It didn't.
I get why he took the job, right? Because at Notre Dame,
because the previous 3 coaches have won national championships.
Yes,
that's why he took the job.
And it's not just the previous 3 have won it. It was specifically the previous 2. If Les Miles and Ed Ogeron can win a natty here,
100%.
I know I can. I can. So I understand that.
He never sniffed it though. He didn't do what they did, which was create really good defense and go get outside talent that is better than anybody's ever seen.
Yes, and the thing is, and also another reason he took the job too, you just have access to better players. Notre Dame, you got to be smart to play at Notre Dame. It blows my mind that Notre Dame can be so good at football because every other school lowers their academic standards for scholarship athletes. Notre Dame does not. So you got to be talented and you have to be smart to play there.
But what does it say about Marcus Freeman that all he's done is make the playoff and continue to be successful?
And Brian Kelly made the playoff there too. But I'm just saying, I understand why he took it, because you have access to much better players without those academic restrictions that you have at Notre Dame. And Louisiana they can field a team full of guys just from Louisiana, and they would be competitive in the SEC. That's how much talent is in that state. So you have access to better players than you do at Notre Dame.
We talked about this in our last episode, and we actually had LSU written down as a maybe. I did. Yep, I had it written down as a maybe. I didn't think it happened this fast. Does Lane Kiffin have a decision to make? Is this a Lane Kiffin situation?
It certainly sounds like it.
Let me ask you this: where the programs are now, do you take LSU or Florida?
I take LSU.
I think you take LSU, and I think Lane Kiffin fits at LSU. I think he's such a weirdo.
Well, he fits at Florida too, but yeah. I think he fits at both because he's, to me, a young Steve Spurrier from a personality standpoint and a scheme standpoint.
He might win it all at Ole Miss this year. He's got a squad. Chambliss is
they have a team, and we talked about this. I have yet to see a team that I think is unbeatable. Even Ohio State,
Indiana
can get got.
Yeah,
they look awesome,
but they're good.
But oh my god, they're really good. But they can get got though.
Okay. Thank you for the breaking news. Oklahoma, we're going to talk more about that at the end of the show. Okay, so, Kevin, as you know, when Oklahoma loses a game, I don't really want to watch a lot of football. I'm in a hotel room, Springfield, Missouri, me and my daughter. We're flipping around, flipping through channels. They got HBO. I did not watch a weird-ass movie like I did OU Texas weekend, but they had Superman on, the new Superman. And I'm like, no commercials. This is great. I'm just going to watch Superman. My daughter watches. She falls asleep. She had a soccer game. They won. She played good. She almost had a goal. She hit the crossbar. She falls asleep. I start dozing a little bit. It's cold outside. And wake up around 6:15, 6:30. I have to wake her up because I'm like, dude, if you don't wake up, you're like not going to sleep the rest of the day. And I'm like, get dressed. We'll go get some to eat. And then while she's getting around, I go through the channels and see where Texas is at. And at that point, it was 31-21. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, it's about time. This is about right. I mean, Texas they've held on as long as they can to some glimmer of hope on the season. This will finally end that glimmer of hope. Like, this is my thought. I sure as you know what, as much as I hate Texas, I did not want to sit around and even watch them lose. Like, I just was like, let's go. So we get in the car, we go to the restaurant. I get out my phone or my daughter's phone, and I'm like, hey, let's see how much Texas lost by. And I asked her, how much did Texas lose by? And she's like, Dad, they're tied 38-38. And Kevin, my stomach turns. My appetite is gone. I end up calling you because I got to figure out what the hell's going on. Like, I wasn't texting you all day because I knew y'all were behind. And I know a lot of people hate that about this show, that you and I don't beat each other up, but we are friends and we don't beat each other up. And I wasn't going to text you while you were getting your ass kicked.
Same here. You didn't hear from me after the OU game.
No, because whatever. We're going to get it from enough other spaces. We don't need it from each other.
Correct.
So, all that being said, I call you. You end up giving me the play-by-play. I got to tell you, who in the hell is still punting to Ryan Neblitt?
I don't.
Dude, listen, hold up. In the last 3 games, he's had a punt return for a touchdown, 2 punts for 40 yards plus that set up a game-winning or a game-tying score or whatever, and then now a game-winning 79-yard touchdown down the same sideline. Not only are they punting it to him, they're punting it to the right sideline. I don't even understand what the hell's happening. Like, I know I am not a football genius. I get it. I understand. I am not a side. You don't hear me talking about they should.
Yeah. You don't have to be Bill Walsh to know that.
Yes. I don't have to be Frank Beamer, the special teams genius that he was, to kick the ball out of bounds. What is happening? Kevin, there's so much more to this game. There's so much more to this game. I cannot get over kicking the ball to Ryan Neblitt And that, let alone at any point in the game, but with 2 minutes to go down by a touchdown. It is like the most maddening decision, if I'm a Mississippi State fan or a Texas hater, that I've ever seen.
And when they kicked it, and again, the punter bombed it, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to have a chance here. I mean, it was a great punt, but he kicked it so deep.
He
got
outkicked
it.
his coverage.
He outkicked his coverage. There's nobody within 10 yards of him. He gets ahead of steam, gets to that left sideline, blocking and set up. And I couldn't believe it. Any of the comeback, I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe the decision and then the execution. It was awesome, John. I had given up. And usually, I'm late to give up. I don't say it's over until I just really, really feel like it's over. 38-21, when that crazy improvised, I don't know if you saw the touchdown that they scored to go up. I mean, Shapen is scrambling, stops, sees a running back, shovels it to him, and he goes untouched with multiple players there, untouched for a touchdown. It's 38-21. Cowbells are going.
It's over.
Right, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. Even if we can't score, we can't stop them.
And it should be over, Kevin.
It should have been over.
It should be over. It's like, let alone Arch's struggles, let alone, whatever's going on with your offensive line, let alone Sark's play calling throughout the year. It doesn't matter. 38-21 on the road in the fourth quarter, the game is over. And now you're sitting here, and Texas is 6-2.
6-2, 3-1 in conference play.
3-1 in conference play. At the top of you're at the top of the conference. Nobody else is undefeated, right? Alabama, right? Alabama's undefeated.
Yeah.
In conference.
In conference, yeah.
It's Alabama. It's Alabama, and then you and Georgia and Tennessee and Ole Miss, and you're just right there. And who the hell knows? Anything can happen. Kevin, I don't know. Where do you want to? I have to start with Ryan Neblitt. And real quick, you outscored him 24-7 in the fourth quarter. You had the last 17, and then you outscore them in overtime. Obviously, I don't even know what they were doing. They went backwards. They went backwards in overtime. So
finished the game 24 with 24 unanswered points, 24 straight points for Texas in the football game. First of all, to start this game was a nightmare start. Well, first of all, we forced them to a 3-and-out to start. We get the ball. First play, a screen pass. Our bread and butter play since Sark has been there. Ryan Wingo goes 62 yards down to the 1-yard line. Art scores on a touchdown run the next play. We're up 7-0. We force them to go 3-and-out again. We get the ball back. So I'm thinking, okay, we can go up 14 here. No, back to business as usual, 3-and-out. They get the ball, go down, miss a field goal. We go 3-and-out again. They get a touchdown, 7-7. We punt it again. So offense is stalled out after that great drive. But then we get another touchdown. We're up 14-7, but then they go right down the field. Their offense was really good.
And the second and third quarter, Shapen was really
man.
Good.
He was, and I've said this about Jeff Levy. I know OU fans were not the biggest fan of Jeff Levy and some of his play calls, especially the timing of them. But man, does he know how to score points against Texas and PK's defense? I love what he does offensively. I know you think about the air raid or you think about the veer and shoot, the Arbryle's offense as inside zone and just throwing deep. He really, really runs it well with different types of runs. And his passing attack with it is not just throwing guys deep, just go routes. He's got guys running across the middle. He does such a good job. And I honestly don't understand why more teams don't try this against Texas. Is he floods the middle of the field and puts the linebackers in conflict. He scored on the play. He had a guy running across, and then he had a guy coming across the field behind him. So the linebackers are jumping to one guy, and then there's another guy coming right after him that they throw to. It worked every time. It's how Oklahoma beat us in 2023, running those same concepts with Dylan Gabriel. So they did a great job of getting up. Again, the offense is stalling out. We can't protect Arch. They haven't been able to get after the quarterback all year. And, of course, against our offensive line, they're just hitting Arch over and over again. 5 sacks, including 2 by former Texas player Darian Gillette, who we really like, but he wasn't playing. He had an injury while he was here, transferred to Mississippi State. He had 2 sacks on Arch. One of their defensive linemen, former Texas player Dre Bledsoe, also had a sack. So they're really getting after Arch. He's getting hit. Ryan Wingo had a big game, but he's dropping passes too. So it just didn't look like it was going to happen. And it was frustrating. I'm like, man, this goes the season. The season is going to end for us in Starkville, Mississippi. What a fitting way for this season to essentially end. But I got to give them credit because they hadn't looked good overall on either side of the ball. Once they got down 17 in the fourth quarter, they just kept playing. They just kept playing. They went down, got the touchdown, to make it, was it 38-28? Yeah, 30. So, and then after that, we forced a 3-and-out, a real quick 3-and-out. They lost 9 yards on the play, so the pass rush really got going. Get the ball back, go down the field, get a field goal. They really needed a touchdown, but got a field goal to make it 38-31. At this point, there's 3 minutes and 39 seconds left. Again, another quick 3-and-out for them. We stopped them just 1 yard short of the first down, but obviously they're pinned deep. They're not going to go for it. And then that's when the punt happens to Ryan Neblitt. I couldn't believe they bombed it like that and didn't kick it out of bounds. He somehow takes it back to the house. It's tied. But then I'm still nervous, John, because it just kind of reminded me of that 2023 Red River Shootout where we scored but there's too much time left. There's still a minute 44. And they've been going right down the field the majority of the game. So I'm thinking like, ooh, I don't like this. But no, we shut them down and forced them to punt again. We also made a huge mistake here that could have cost us. When they punted, we had an all-out punt block with no returner back. So instead of having a chance to return it, the ball dies at the 1 yard line with 3 seconds left. So we have to come out and take a snap
and get
from
forward,
the 1 yard line and get forward, not have the game end on a safety. Can you imagine that game ending on a safety? Thankfully, they executed right. We get the 2 yards to end the game. We go into overtime, lose the toss. You always want to play defense first in overtime, right? In college. We get the ball. First play, Arch Manning, 13-yard run on first down. He gets hit hard. He stand down. Guys try to help him up, and he goes back down. I'm like, oh, he's got a concussion. He looks concussed here. Trainers have to come out. They have to help him off the field. I mean, he's wobbly walking off the field. Looks like he has no idea where he is. Then we got to bring our backup quarterback in, Matthew Caldwell. He's a transfer. He was actually Troy's starting quarterback last year. He comes in, hands it off to Trey Wisener for 7 yards. Then, of course, after that, we get a penalty. And then he just throws a fade to Emmett Mosley for a toe tap touchdown. They call it incomplete. They review it, overturn it for a touchdown. We take the lead. They get the ball back, and we push them back on every play. Incomplete to Brendan Thompson. And then we get
penalties.
And they have two. It's 4th and 10. They have 2 false starts. It's 4th and 20. We get after them, sack them. Ball comes out. We recover. A game over. Just one of the most shocking wins that I can remember as a Texas fan, really for the last 25 years. I don't know how they pulled this game off, but I'm really glad they did.
I thought it was bad enough that Alabama figured out how to beat South Carolina after being down the whole game. Like, I thought that was bad enough. I thought that was gross enough after having OU lose. And then this happened. And it was like, good Lord, why am I being punished? Like, me personally. You know what I mean, Kevin? I felt like God was
I do know what you mean.
Me.
I do know what you mean.
I don't know what I did. In fact,
I'm a fan. As sports fans.
I'm not going to brag about what I did, but I will assure you, a favor was performed by me yesterday. To somebody I don't even know. A favor was performed. And you thought that the cosmic world would pay me back. But no, Kevin. They punished me with not running Xavier Robinson. Alabama somehow landed on a fumble that Lenore Sellers didn't even try to jump on. And Ryan freaking Neblitt.
Don't punt to Neblitt. Also, teams, if you're playing against Texas, if it's 4th and 1, don't run it up the gut. Just try something else. Yeah, put your quarterback on a bootleg. Stop. Mississippi State did that at least twice yesterday on 4th and 1 and got stuffed every time. Please don't. Just stop doing it for your own good. I'm trying to help you all out.
Listen, it's a hell of a win. I think it speaks as much. I think that what you have here, okay, outside, like take a step back from the game itself. is you have a program in Texas that has won a lot of football games over the last 3 years. Okay, now, however they've done it, they've won a lot of football games over the last 3 years. And then you've got a program in Mississippi State that has lost a lot of football games over the last 100 years.
Correct.
And there's just something about programs that don't know how to win games.
Yes. Winners find ways to win, losers find ways to lose.
And they found a way to lose.
Correct.
And I mean, Texas, to your point, didn't give up, stayed with
Just
it.
kept playing.
But what are we? But again, what are we talking about? 38-21, the game's over.
38-21 in the fourth quarter. Yes. You know how ESPN has their
So hold on. We've got an issue with this game. We got it. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, just you know how they do the written probability deal. I'm trying to find it here real quick. But yeah, it was in that fourth quarter. Let's see.
Was it like 98% Mississippi State or something?
It was. Hold on. Yeah, it was in the 90s for sure. 98.4.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah, when it was.
I mean, it's over.
14.
The game's over.
Yeah.
All right. We have an issue with this game though that we need to discuss. All
okay.
Right? And we tried to discuss it before the recording to try to sort out the housekeeping, and I didn't have an answer for it. So now we're gonna just hash it out in front of our viewers, lay the dirty trash out there, okay? Now, a couple of issues. Number one, typically with the line, for all these years, I've used DraftKings. DraftKings. That's been our line, okay? But more recently, I've started using ESPN because it's right there. I can write the matchups, the top 25 matchups. I go down the matchups, and I use that line for us to make our picks. Well, on ESPN on Thursday morning, when we made our picks, Texas was a 7.5-point favorite on ESPN. I picked Texas to cover. I'm sorry. I picked Mississippi State to cover the 7.5. You picked Texas. But
Correct.
You're saying DraftKings, you were picking it with the number being at 7?
That yes, even on I showed you on the screen, I had our deal from last week. From the preview episode, I had it at -7.
Okay. So let me ask you. I do not think you should get punished. I don't think you should get punished for a push. I think you should get the push. After the day I had yesterday, can I have the win, please? Can I please have the 7.5 points? That's what I'm asking you. 7.5 points.
You have the win. Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna adjust your standings. Thank you. This is what, hey, if you're out there listening or watching, this is why we don't text each other when games are happening. Because this is how civil people have discourse. This is how civil people have discourse. All right, I'm updating you to 17, 26, and 2. All right. Real quick, I'll just hit these real quick and then we'll talk about the games. You had OU covering. Wrong. I had Ole Miss. Win for me. We just talked about Texas. Push for you. Win for me. Vanderbilt, we both had Vandy, although that game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because Texas is in for it. A&M, you had A&M. I had LSU. You were right. I was wrong. Brian Kelly's fired. BYU started out on the road, down. It looked really strong, man. BYU looked really, really strong.
Did.
And so I went 4-1. You went 2-1.
2-1. There you go.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so it's actually 18. 18, 26, and 2.
And real quick, John.
18, 25, and 2. There you go.
Before we move on here, I do have to shout out Arch Manning. Getting hit a lot, which has been the theme for him all year. Finishes with 29 of 46, 346 yards with 3 touchdowns, 1 rush touchdown, and an interception. I don't think he's going to play next week. If I had to bet, I don't think he will play next week. He did not look good after that hit. The way he wobbled off the sideline, he'll be in the concussion protocol. And I would not expect him, if he was my son, I wouldn't want him out there next week. So I'm as of Sunday, and it can change, right, in 6 days. But I'm not sure if we see him next week in a big game against the top 10 Vanderbilt team coming to Austin, which is, by the way, our first home game since like September 22nd or something like that. So I expect to see Matthew Caldwell. I don't know how that's going to look, but just putting that out there that we may not see Arch Manning against Vanderbilt.
Have you looked at the DraftKings line for that game?
I have not. I have DraftKings pulled up, but I haven't looked. I see it now.
Minus
-3
3
for Texas.
Do you think they are taking into account Arch with that -3?
Yes, I think they are. And I don't know if Arch at this point is enough to move a line like that. Just because,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
hasn't,
Oh, that makes sense.
So
What happens if Caldwell comes out and kills it?
Arch
Just
Manning
cooks.
will be I think he's still the starting quarterback. I think it's Arch all the way.
He played a good. Listen, this is a good game. There's not. He didn't have a great game until
No.
the fourth quarter.
Agreed.
But in totality, it's a good game.
It was a good game. Yes. Which is yes. He played the way we've needed him to play, and the offense opened up. They were able to. They did some sort of adjustments that allowed them to protect the quarterback. And I think we did run a lot of plays too. So I think the pass rush from Mississippi State wore down a little bit. We were actually able to protect him. And when he's protected, obviously he misses some layups. We know that. But when he is protected, he has the ability to make the plays down the field that we were able to see yesterday against Vanderbilt. And like I said, I thought he looked really good. He's tough as nails. But again, he's been hit too many times while dropping back to pass. And he's had to run a lot for us to have any sort of running game. And we talked about this. Remember I told you how you had said that we would have won easily last week with Quinn Ewers playing against Kentucky. Yeah. And my pushback was that Quinn Ewers would have been injured in the first half because he would have gotten hit too much. It's catching up to us now with our inability to protect our quarterback and with our inability to run the ball. So we have to use him as part of the running ball. Same thing with Oklahoma, right? With John Mateer. Yeah. When your quarterback has to put on a cape to be successful, for your offense to be successful, it's going to catch up with you. And I think it caught up with us last night. We'll see what happens this week. But like I said, the way I'm feeling right now, I don't expect to see Arch Manning against Vanderbilt.
Indiana beats, or real quick, I should say, just for line points, Tennessee's 3.5-point favorite against OU. At least that's what the line opened on Sunday at DraftKings. Indiana, we thought UCLA had been showing some signs of life. Whether they were, they weren't, it did not matter. Indiana won 56-6.
What a serious performance. Just a serious performance by them. It's so impressive.
They're the number 2 team in the country for a reason. The number 3 team in the country in the second half definitely looked like it. To go into Baton Rouge, now, did LSU quit? Your words, not mine, but maybe. It doesn't really matter. I think A&M had a little something to do with that. Once they got the lead in the second half, that game was over. 49-25. Alabama. Let's talk about this Alabama game for a second. Okay, so South Carolina. You talked about it in the preview of teams needing to be desperate and how South Carolina did not look desperate against Oklahoma. They looked desperate against Bama.
They did.
Whether it's the A on the helmet or whatever, they looked like they were, they were bringing, it was their Super Bowl, right? Whatever that means. They held on as long as they could. Is the way I kind of looked at it, right? Eventually, Alabama's talent got them. However, Lenore Sellers gets hit. I don't think they were going to score. That's just me. That's the vibe I got. I kind of thought it was going into overtime and Alabama was going to win in overtime. But when he fumbled the ball, were you watching the game or were you watching the Texas game?
I was watching the Texas game. I saw it shortly afterwards, but I did not see it as it happened.
He just seemed so nonchalant about the fumble. Like he just didn't seem to care or notice it I don't know. It was maybe he couldn't have even got it because of the way he fell and stuff. I didn't think it was a great look. I didn't love it. Did you see what I'm talking about, or am I being too hard on the kid?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're being a little hard on him, but
I just want Lenore Sellers to be better than he's been this year, and he has.
yeah, it's been a struggle. But again, we talk about quarterbacks having to do too much for their football teams. That's what it's been with Lenore Sellers too. I mean, he's been hit so much, he just beat the heck up all year. So I don't know, man. It's a tough loss for them because they played so well. They played so well, man.
But you didn't think they were going to win, right?
I actually thought they had a chance to win. I didn't think it was over. No, I didn't think it was like over. No.
I kind of. You only scored 22. That is just hard to. That's hard to win a game in college football to score 22 points.
They had a great defensive performance, though. I mean, you guys pushed them around last week, and I think they held Alabama to 72 yards rushing.
I didn't even see it. Did Dylan Stewart play?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
That makes a little bit of a difference.
It does. It does. Let's see. Yeah, Alabama with 72 yards rushing.
Yeah.
If you hold Alabama to 72 yards rushing, you got a chance.
Especially after what you saw us do to them last week.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's a tough loss for them. Their season is, it was already on life support, and now it's just over.
Bama remains undefeated in the SEC. They're the number one team in the SEC, and I think with each succeeding week, they are kind of locking down their spot in Atlanta that first weekend in December.
Yeah,
right?
Let's check the schedule just real quick.
We're running out of big games for South Carolina. I'm sorry, for Bama. They still have to play Auburn. I know.
Okay, yeah, they've got LSU next week.
Oh, that could be. Who knows? Yeah,
and it's at Tuscaloosa as well. So
yeah.
And then they've got Oklahoma. You guys got to go there. And then their Eastern Illinois game, their annual bye week game late in the year, and then at Auburn. Yeah.
I mean, if you're an Alabama fan, it just doesn't look as hard as it did at the beginning of the season.
No, you like the schedule if you're an Alabama fan.
I mean, LSU's on the ropes. They'll knock out LSU. Oklahoma, I think it kind of depends on how they play against Tennessee. If we steal a win, I think you can go in with some confidence, Alabama. If we get a loss,
you go in with a ton of confidence, my goodness.
But you get a loss, you're going in with 2 losses in a row and heads down and your dog's kicked. I don't know if that's the team you want to take into Tuscaloosa when they're rolling like this. All right.
No.
Oregon wins 21-7. Did their quarterback get hurt?
I think he may have. I saw him kind of walking off the field at one point, kind of holding on to his face a little bit.
I would have expected more from Oregon against Wisconsin.
Against Wisconsin. And Wisconsin, I mean, they've looked dead in the water for a few weeks now. And I just don't know if they can even afford to fire Luke Fickell. So they're in an interesting spot there.
I'll tell you, the difference in the SEC and the Big Ten is I think Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana are really, really, really good.
Yeah,
I think they're really, really, really good regardless of conference. I think especially Oregon and Ohio State, we know they're built. They could be in the SEC, and it wouldn't be.
Yeah, no problem at all for them.
It wouldn't be a matchup issue. You don't know about Indiana, or maybe we just don't trust it. I still think they're really good. And in a 1-game scenario, I don't want any part of Indiana. But dude, you start getting to the lower half of the Big Ten, and that's the difference. Like, listen, Mississippi State is terrible from a record standpoint. And I think Mississippi State goes 500 in the Big Ten, right?
Yes, they're a competent football team. Yes, you could pick them against half the conference. I mean, this conference.
At least. Wisconsin, Wisconsin, Rutgers, Purdue.
Yeah, Maryland.
UCLA, Maryland. Michigan State. I mean, it's
UCLA.
And probably Nebraska.
Yeah, correct. Yes, I think they've got too much speed, especially on the perimeter. We couldn't handle their speed on the perimeter.
Yeah, no, they'd be fine. Georgia Tech beat Syracuse 41-16. Miami Stanford. This was an interesting game because almost to halftime it was 7-7.
Yes.
And it was like, what is Miami doing? Well, whatever adjustment that they made it. They just roll.
Yeah. It took them a while to get going.
Vandy, Missouri. Missouri comes up 1 yard short of a Hail Mary to tie the game to get into overtime. Diego Pavia didn't look like a world beater, but this is the SEC. You take the win. Just real quick, thoughts on Vandy coming to Austin? I know we're going to do a whole preview show, but
yeah, I mean they've continued to impress, and they've beaten everybody that they should have beaten. But I mean, obviously they lose a game to Alabama 30-14, but they have taken care of everybody else on their schedule. The LSU game was a little bit close. That's when LSU was still good, but
yeah,
the Missouri, it was a good win for them. Now Missouri's quarterback Pribula, he got air casted during the game. So obviously that could potentially derail Missouri's season.
Oh, right? not when they play Oklahoma though, Kevin.
Yeah, well, they'll be ready to play y'all. You know how that goes.
We love playing Missouri with a backup quarterback. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
They have they have shown to have a good defense, a really good defense, and they're a very physical football team. So we're gonna have to be ready to play. I hope that we can get after Pavia and stop him from running the football and making those kind of crazy plays that he's able to make when we scramble and stops and throws to a guy down the field. But we're going to have to be absolutely at our best to beat this game. And I don't know. Our best has not been there. It just seemed.
If Arch is truly your best quarterback, which sounds like you think he is.
I do think he is.
I think there's dudes out there that might question that. But, I mean, if he is out, that's concerning.
It is, correct. Yes. Playing a conference game against a team that is 7-1, 3-1 in conference without your starting quarterback is very concerning. So it's going to take a great effort, and the type of effort that's better than what we've given the last 2 weeks. Because what we gave last night, despite the toughness and the heart that it took to come back and win that game, that kind of effort is not going to get it done against Vanderbilt. It's not going to get it done. Certainly not going to get it done against Georgia and Athens. It's not going to get it done against, we'll struggle against Arkansas. And then with A&M, my goodness. They look really good, man. So we're going to have to be better than we have been. And we'll see if we can, because if I'm being completely honest here, I'm still looking at 2 more losses for this football team.
I think so. BYU, we talked about them, 41-27 at Ohio State. Texas Tech named their score against Oklahoma State. Interestingly enough, Virginia and North Carolina go to overtime, but Virginia does hold on to win 17-16.
Yeah, I mean, they scored North Carolina scored a touchdown and decided to go for 2 to try to win the game and didn't get it.
That never bothers me. It just doesn't bother me.
No, I'm fine with it.
Here's the score that Oklahoma gets to think about for the rest of the week. Tennessee, Kentucky, 56-34.
And John, listen, we talked about with Ole Miss, or just with any team, if you don't get pressure, if you don't hit the quarterback, what could happen to your secondary? Case in point, the game last night. Joey Aguilar, 20 of 26, 396 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. No INTs, by the way.
Yeah.
No INTs.
He does not run it like Chambliss.
No.
He does not run it like Chambliss. It's going to be a little more traditional drop back. But that being said, I said this was the issue against Ole Miss. Okay? And I agree with you that we are physically comparable with Ole Miss. Athletically and physically, and Johnny's and Joe's look about the same. Right?
Yes.
If you line everybody up and take their shirt off, it's like, okay, they're all the same dudes.
Yeah.
To some extent, I think the same could be said for Tennessee. Right?
I agree.
Is my guess. The problem is I don't think we can. I know we can't win a shootout.
No.
We're not built to win a shootout.
No.
This ain't Baker Mayfield or even
Kyler
Caleb
Murray.
Williams in 22 or whatever. It's just or 21 or whatever. It's not. It's not even Dylan Gabriel in 23. I mean, we're just not built to do that. And so now Kentucky lets them get 50. Is their defense as good as ours?
Tennessee's,
whatever.
No. I'll tell you right now, it's not. This is
What about Kentucky though? Kentucky's defense is not as good as ours, right?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and so my point being is, let me tell you the key to winning the game against Tennessee, Kevin. This is going to sound crazy, but how about we play good defense and run the football?
You'd be shocked, right? That is the formula for football. If you play good defense and run the football, you will win more times than you lose.
I don't know.
This Art Mason Thomas game. This is a Grayson Halton game and a David Stone game.
Yeah.
You have got to get after Joey Aguilar.
Yep. I think we can.
Yes, knock him off the spot.
If I had to pick who we were going to lose to, Ole Miss or Tennessee, I would have said, I think I said Ole Miss. And that was with Austin Simmons. I didn't know about Chambliss, but for sure with Chambliss. I've been talking about him since Austin Simmons got hurt, that I did not want to play that kid.
Yeah.
Aguilar has been playing really, really well, but it's just you take that element away, and I think Oklahoma's going to have a chance. We'll talk about it next week.
They had three receivers go over 100 yards last night. Tennessee did 3.
Well, our secondary better figure it out. Memphis, they're going to be battling for this Power 5 or for this Group of 5 spot because Memphis beats USF South Florida 34-31. Louisville beats Boston College 38-24.
Real quick, John. On that South Florida Memphis game, 17-0 in the fourth quarter for Memphis.
Oh, seriously?
It was 31-17 at the end of the third quarter. South Florida was up, and Memphis comes out and scores 17 in the fourth to steal it.
No lead is safe. No lead is safe.
None. Clearly.
Louisville beats Boston College 38-24. Cincinnati over Baylor 41-20. Unranked at the time, and they're still unranked. Washington beats Illinois 42-25 to go to 6-2, and they're still unranked. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Did they have a really bad loss? I mean, they've only lost to Ohio State and Michigan.
I mean, 6-2, Washington usually gets some consideration.
Correct. Maybe they did. I haven't seen the whole AP poll. The schedule also, real quick, for Washington, at Wisconsin versus Purdue, at UCLA. So they got a chance here to win 3 straight games and then close against Oregon, which would be a tough game. But if they can get these next 3 wins, I think they can find themselves ranked pretty high.
Speaking of an unranked Houston team at the time, unranked Houston improves to 7-1, beats ASU 24-16. They do jump into the top 25 at number 22. Michigan beats Michigan State 31-20, and then in an unranked game, Auburn finally gets a win in the SEC, beating Arkansas 33-24.
Real quick, on that game, did you happen to see your boy Jackson Arnold's his stat line?
No.
For that game. Okay,
no.
Let me give me 1 second here. I'll pull it up. And sometimes you win because of guys, and sometimes you win in spite of them, right? And Jackson Arnold's stat line against Auburn, 7 of 12 for 73 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 INT.
What they run? How many rushing yards they have?
230.
See that? Listen, though, man. That's what we're talking about. I'm not saying you can do it all the time, but look, when we beat Alabama, his stat line wasn't much different last year.
No, he ran the ball well in that game, though. He had Arnold himself. But yeah, the passing game. But again, as a team, you ran between him and Xavier Robinson. You ran for over 200 yards against Alabama. That's why you won the football game. And the best offenses, really, that we've seen in college football, they run the ball well. And I know even the Oklahoma offenses with Lincoln Riley, we think about the
Oh,
downfield bombs.
are you kidding me?
No,
Yeah.
man, you're
It was
running
Joe. It
counter.
was Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine all day long.
Exactly. And then Rodney Anderson after that. You're running the football. You're that's why you're winning. And that's what's setting up those open shots is you're running the crap out of the football.
Kevin, give me your takeaways from the Texas win. I mean, this is a pretty crazy win. Biggest comeback since biggest fourth quarter comeback since 2003
Yeah,
or 5 for y'all.
2007. Yeah, we were down 35-7 in Stillwater against
I
young
remember
Mike
that
Gundy.
game. I
And
was
Jamal
out.
Charles went nuts in the fourth quarter.
I was out at a sports bar and watched that, and I didn't know who I wanted to win, but either way, it felt weird.
You felt, at least you could laugh at Oklahoma State.
I did laugh.
I mean, I remember Mac Brown during that game just going. I've never seen him act like that when he was the Texas coach. Just went absolutely bonkers on the Texas team in the second quarter. And on the sidelines. I think he usually would rip the team at halftime in the locker room, but it was on the sidelines. If I find the clip, I'll send it to you. He just completely lost it on the team in the second quarter. Obviously, it worked.
What do you think this does for your season? You think it saves anything, or you think it's an asterisk on the season of just a really cool game?
I don't know, because as a fan, obviously, I'm really happy and I'm excited that they were able to just keep playing and keep believing and pull off a huge win. And the season is still alive somehow, despite the injuries and just the inconsistent play, especially on the offensive line, the weird play calling, the weird game plans on both sides of the ball that we've had this year, the roster stuff that I don't like. We still have a chance to make something out of this year, and that I'm excited about. However, as just looking at it from a pure football standpoint, we still have a ton of flaws that can be exposed by great teams, right? We've had our flaws exposed by the likes of Kentucky and Mississippi State and UTEP so far this year. So I'm very concerned about playing the likes of Vanderbilt. While I think we can beat Vanderbilt, as of right now, I have no reason to believe that we can go to Athens, Georgia and win.
Yeah.
I just don't. And right now, other than the fact that it's just Texas A&M, I have no reason to believe that we can beat them as it stands. So we're going to have to get better. Things are going to have to change. So perhaps we unlock something offensively in the second half. We looked explosive with our passing game. We did go back to some bread and butter stuff with our screen game that worked, getting Wingo in space. I think he finished with 180 yards receiving, the biggest game he's ever had, even though he did have 3 big time drops too. But, he showed what he can do in the open field. So I'm still I don't know, but I'm just glad we still have a chance, that we're still alive.
Oklahoma's still alive. Oklahoma can afford a loss to Ole Miss. The margin of error is down to 1 game to be alive.
Yes.
Right? Now, does 9-3 guarantee a playoff spot?
No, but you're still in the mix. You're really still in the mix.
But I look across who else we have to, come across, go up against and stuff. And I feel better over a Louisville or a Cincinnati getting an at-large bid, for example, right? Louisville, yes. Cincinnati, Virginia. If those are my at-large bid people that I have to beat, I feel pretty good about it at 9-3. Oklahoma team, 9-3, SEC schedule. So everything's still in front of us. We knew this was going to be the hard part of the schedule. Okay. Here's the problem. The problem is we're getting out-coached. Josh Heupel is a damn good football coach.
He is really good, man.
He's a really, really, really good football coach. And I think in terms of motivation, I think he's going to be better. I think he's better than Lane Kiffin was last week. I don't think he's going to do the stupid stuff that Lane Kiffin did yesterday.
No, he's going to he's going to do what's necessary to win the football game, even if it's ugly. We saw that last year.
Yeah. And, people talked about that like it was a badge of honor. Well, I mean, he just shut it down. Yeah, he did, because the game was over and he knew there was no way we were going to catch it. So, but all that to be said, so we got Tennessee, Alabama.
Both on the road.
What? Kalen DeBoer, despite struggles last year, is showing why Alabama hired him.
Yes.
I mean, the stretch of football that they've played over the last 5 games is as hard as anybody will play, including Oklahoma, and they handled it flawlessly.
Correct.
And it's on the road, and it's Alabama. Okay? So, you telling me that Brent Venables and his staff have a coaching advantage over Kalen DeBoer?
I don't know a coach in the country, honestly, that does have an advantage over Kalen DeBoer.
Okay, so now we're 0-2 in coaching advantages. All right, that takes us to Missouri. Now, they might have a backup quarterback. We saw last year, that doesn't mean diddly do. We are better than we were last year. We're better offensively than we were last year. We'll be at home against Missouri. Here's the deal, dude. All Drinkowitz has done at Missouri is win.
Yeah, we make fun of him, but just because how he looks and his personality. But dude is a football coach, man. He's good.
I'm not sure. I might get roasted by OU fan on this. I'm not sure BV is a better coach than Drinkwitz. I'm not sure.
I think that's a good question. That's a very valid question.
And so, because of the portal, but forget the portal. You can forget the portal. Because it's the SEC, and our talent level with Tennessee and Missouri is very similar. And even with Alabama, I think outside of Ryan Williams and their offensive, it's similar. Our defensive guys would play on Alabama's.
Your defensive guys would. Most of your offensive guys would not.
I would agree with that.
But your defensive guys, oh yeah.
And so it comes down to coaching, right? It's like the NFL, where everybody is really. I'm starting to just question. I mean, maybe I should have questioned it the whole time, but with 4 minutes to go and 4 timeouts, and you've got a rundown defense in Ole Miss, and it's sunny and it's hot. It started to warm up a little bit, humid. It wasn't hot, but it was humid. They were starting to run down. They hadn't matched the fits very well. And you take the ball out of Xavier Robinson's hand, and you tell the quarterback who's 4 of his last 13 passes to go try to win you the game. I just don't know what's happening. And so if I extrapolate the last 4 minutes of the game over the next 3 weeks, I'm nervous.
I understand, man. In this big boy football league that we're in now, that's what it leads to, right? I mean, you're finishing with, number 14, number 4, and number 19.
And preseason and preseason number 8, or whatever that means.
Yeah, I mean, and like you were asking me about Texas, right? I mean, we finish with number 9 at number 5, Arkansas, and then number 3. 3 top 10 teams left. I know everybody was talking about us having a soft schedule. You can't say that anymore. I mean, we're finishing with 3 top 10 teams.
And he played Ohio State.
Yes. So, yeah, it's big boy football, man. It's so, yeah. So it definitely makes it much more nervy as a fan compared to the Big 12 years, especially for Oklahoma, because you guys dominated the conference, especially in the 2010s. Texas was not really good at all. But yeah, this is definitely much of a different ride than it was then.
So back then in the Big 12, where you might have a coaching disadvantage. I think about like K-State. You always had him out there coaching.
Snyder, yeah.
Snyder was as good as they get, but they just didn't have the horses. And so 1 out of every 4 years, he was going to figure out a way to beat you. But for the most part, you could just show up on Saturday and win the game.
Yeah.
And it's where I think Bob was able to get into Mac Brown's head, especially early on, where that was the coaching is what made that.
Yes.
The coaching is what
Yes,
won
your
5
team.
straight.
He had your team from a mental standpoint. It wasn't close. You guys were
And-
always ready to play, and whatever reason, we were always on our heels going into the game.
I just don't know. When I look at the totality of the performance yesterday, in terms of, did we look prepared? Were we prepared offensively, defensively, penalties, game plan, and then execution throughout the game? To me, this just goes squarely on Brent Venables' shoulders. And if this is any indication of the next 3 games, I don't know what to think.
Yeah, things are going to have to improve, right? There's no margin for error in any aspect of these games. You got to be on it in every aspect. Offense has got to be competent. Defense has got to be competent. Special teams has to be competent. The coaching has to be, especially. The coaches cannot screw it up. There's too much on the line here.
Kevin, congratulations on a hell of a comeback. I'm glad you got that. For some reason, God hates me, and that's fine. That's between me and God. We will deal with it. All right. I will have some deep consultations. For some reason, God loves you and hates me, but that's all right. These things kind of even themselves out. I will figure it out. Maybe God will smile on the Oklahoma Sooners in Neyland Stadium next Saturday night. We will see. Kevin,
what an environment that's going to be. Can we talk about that just real quick? Just the environment, not even the football game. Just a college football. We're both college football fans, especially me. I'm obsessed with this stuff. That environment.
What does that mean? What does that mean, especially you?
You
think you're a better college football fan than me?
No, but you love OU.
That's
and
true.
You like college football. I love all of it.
And I hate everybody else.
Yeah.
I hate everybody else.
Yeah. So.
Well, listen, 2015 was one of the best environments I can remember OU ever playing. I didn't get to go, but it was one of the best environments I remember OU ever playing in. That was Baker Mayfield's coming out party. That was Sterling Shepard. That was Samaje Perine. That was as good as it gets. That was as good as it gets. And they weren't even any good, right? They weren't even any good in 2015. So yeah, I think that what are they ranked? 14. Look, they're playing for the same stuff. They're playing for the same thing Oklahoma is, and they've been to the playoff. So they know what it feels like to make it, and they don't want to not make it. We're gonna see. The environment's gonna be fantastic. Texas gets a sleepy 11 o'clock game. Y'all just better hope you're awake.
We better be.
Hopefully, Pavia does.
I know Diego Pavia is gonna be awake.
He'll either be awake or hungover. It's 50-50.
Well, hopefully he's smart enough to not break curfew.
If he goes down to 6th Street or whatever.
You know what I mean? He'll blend in, right? He's 5'10".
Oh,
Hispanic dude in Austin. Yeah,
where is he from? Is he from New Mexico?
He is.
Yeah, but he acts just like a Texas quarterback, doesn't he? I mean, like a Texas State high school quarterback.
Like a high school quarterback, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. He would fit in, and he could be from Midland or
exactly.
Yeah, yes. He's any of those dudes.
Or Corpus Christi,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Albuquerque.
Yes, Landry Jones was out there. Artesia. Landry Jones.
Yeah. Underrated guy.
I love New Mexico. I think New Mexico's beautiful.
It is. Santa Fe kind of gives me the creeps, but
Why does it give you the creeps?
I can't answer that. It just does.
A little too artsy. It's a little too artsy-fartsy for you?
It has nothing to do with that. Every time I've been in that city, I just have this weird feeling over me. I can't explain it. It's very odd. I've never felt it anywhere else. It doesn't make sense. I know.
They have black people there, don't they?
Has nothing to do with that.
It's not that.
It's not that. It's just like it has nothing to do with the people there. It's a feeling I get anytime I'm there.
Do you think it's like the dead Indians that are
I
buried there?
have no. That's a good
Like
question.
the ghost of like trampled on
It's
indigenous
something.
peoples rising up.
It's
Could
something
be
like
it.
that. Yeah,
Is it the increased radiation level from atomic testing? Do you sense it? You think you're more acutely aware?
perhaps. That I have no idea why. I can't explain it.
I am always thrown off by the sheer number of Subarus.
That's how, when I
And
first moved to Colorado, it was like that. I'd never seen so many Subaru Outbacks before.
that's insane. It's just insane. We like Santa Fe. It's fine. I like it for like a day.
I like the architecture though. I do like that.
I like Santa Fe for a day.
Okay.
Like spend a night there, nice little hotel, get some green chili, and then get on the road. Right? It's like it's a waypoint to wherever I'm probably going.
Yeah.
The problem with New Mexico was the way they handled COVID. They were insane.
Really.
Oh, they had a think about New Mexico. It has like a population density of like Upper Canada. I mean, nobody lives there. There's
Correct.
it's like nobody. They're just, you're not around anybody if you're in New Mexico. That's the whole point, probably, if you live there. And they were psychotic. That's the only time I got yelled at. I got yelled at for not wearing a mask while pumping gas outside.
That's interesting.
The gas attendant comes, you gotta wear a mask. Okay. I gotta get out of this place.
Let's just be glad that the pandemic is over. My God.
Somebody was talking about the
just
other day.
for a myriad of reasons. Nothing about that was good.
I'll tell you what was good, Kevin, was golf. Golf in the pandemic was the best because
No one behind you.
Nobody behind you, nobody there. They at one point they were so worried that they forced, and I'm putting that in quotation marks, forced my son Jeffrey and I to ride in individual carts. They wouldn't let us share carts, even though we're family members and living in the same house. And at first I was bugged by it. And then I realized, oh my God, Jeffrey and I could go play 18 holes in about an hour and 30 minutes if we each have our own cart. Oh, it was great.
Right. You're like, okay, yeah, great. Whatever keeps us safe.
I had some of the best golf rounds during COVID. It was just, there was nobody out there. They had like 12-minute apart tee times. So you never were waiting on anybody. Oh, that's the only thing that was good.
Only good thing, yeah.
But it was really good.
It's so weird, yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I'm going to think about why Santa Fe freaks you out. Colorado didn't freak you out, though, right?
You
like Colorado.
I love Colorado. We'll wrap up and then we'll get into it more.
Okay, there you go, folks. You heard it. Kevin, have a great week. Over.
Okay.